Hi everybody and welcome to video 2000. Of course, those 2000 videos, they've been a journey, certainly a journey for us. We've learnt such things and done such things that it's been, for me at least, absolutely incredible.
No, it's okay. I'm talking like normal. You just be normal, mate. Don't you worry about it. You be normal instead of your usual crazy. I'm in trouble now. When the camera's going to turned off and he makes the next cup of coffee, it will not be his finger that he's using to stir it with, I can guarantee it. Oh, cappuccino. Oops. Better clear that up. And run that bit again. Didn't work too well. Called a wick because it exhibits a property called wicking. Wicking is per capillary action. It's the ability of a material to suck a fluid along the... I can't say that because the next thing you think is golf balls and hose pipes.
Of course, given the number of subscribers that we've got, the number of videos that we've done, you can't be everything to all people at all times. So, of course, people have videos they hate, people have videos they love.
Gee, look how red that's glowing. Now it's glowing red. It's an infrared heater, and actually you wouldn't believe how hot that gets. It gives out a tremendous amount of heat and lasts about 4 hours or so on a single burn. What I want to show you is this. What this is a wind generator, and it's a wind generator that will work even if the wind isn't blowing it. That is just awesome. I'm going to take it to pieces and show you exactly how it's made.
Okay, the way it works is we attach something to here, like maybe a wind turbine, maybe a chain, something. And when we drive that, of course, the bristles of the brush catch in those jagged teeth and they force it around. Now, it's quite a surprising amount of force, which is no surprise because we have, what, 8 of these with 2,000 on each head. So we've got about 16,000 little points pressing on there. That's a lot of force. If we want more, of course, we could add more bristles. So we've got quite a lot of force turning that, and I can feel it in my hand, and yet when I turn that way, nothing at all, because the bristles act like a ratchet, and as they go around, they're also incredibly silent, which is really cool. And if I spin that, then that will continue to spin when I hold that, just like any other ratchet. So we've turned our toothbrush bristles into a flexible and silent ratchet with a surprising amount of force that it can put on that joint, which is pretty cool if you think about it. People have their own favourites and we have our own favourites too. But let's give it a spin and see what we can get out of it.
Whoa, 10 volts.
Oh really?
13, 14, 16.
Wow! So 16 volts with no effort at all. And there are some videos we do just because they're interesting and they get hardly any views at all.
Now, there's no power to this at the moment because it's right there, it's just the power button. But if I press the power on, so if I latch it on and press the power on, the motor will move in one direction. I latch it, it'll move in the other direction because the latching switch is operating this as a H bridge so that we can reverse the action of that motor.
Of course, you've always had the view on the channel that history is super important because, well, you can learn so much from it.
We've made a water motor, and you might think it's a quaint thing, and it kind of is. And I got it from these model engineers books were published in the late 1800s to the early 1900s, and that's when water motors were really prevalent. Now, it's one thing that never ceases to amaze me is that our worries today are actually strikingly similar to the worries of our forefathers at the turn of 2 centuries ago, which is amazing, really.
What we're talking about are those ideas that have just been forgotten and are lying at the bottom of a patent database. Those ideas that have been dragged up again and redressed in modern colours and presented as if they were new. And those ideas that form the basics of something that we can build on and develop into something that really is new.
Let's put it up a little bit. Yeah, that is some speed, hey? Now you see these things being developed by people doing things like drilling holes in bits of wood, that kind of thing. And there's lots and lots of research. If you go back to video 1840, you'll see some of what I mean. That's about 5 volts, so we're about 2.5 kilovolts, and we're still in the microamp range. Bang it up some more. Sure enough, we're getting a tiny, tiny reading. Now I'll play around with that a little bit and try some of these different materials to see what happens.
Of course, repair, replace, reuse has always been a mantra of the channel, and we've taken things and built entirely new things out of them.
But this morning as I was driving to work, I drove past this. This had been thrown on a bit of parkland, actually. It's a bit of a shame and it's a bit of a sign of our times, but it was on a nice bit of grassland that didn't belong to anybody, and clearly somebody just chucked it out because they couldn't get the bin men to take it. But it's a fairly common thing that you come across, a broken microwave. It's something that lots of people have. It's something you find often. Well, yeah, inverted commas. So what I thought I'd do is a video on some things that you can do with this. Because it's a broken microwave, it's not likely that you're going to be able to repair it, certainly not by yourself. And you don't have to repair everything. I mean, the first choice has got to be repair. But it's not always possible to repair stuff, but even when you can't repair it, there's always a great deal of stuff in here that you can reuse and repurpose for any things.
It's one of my main arguments that what stops people mostly from doing things, well, it's fear of failure. 4 years ago, Luke and I, we couldn't weld for toffee, so what did we do? Well, we got ourselves a welder and we taught ourselves to weld. And I've made this one in a previous video, and the link is at the end of this video. Now, I'm at home because we're looking at this as being an emergency cooker. With everything that's going on at the moment, rising gas prices and the possibility of things being shut off, having some way of heating and cooking is obviously becoming a bit of an issue. And it's one of those things that's really, I suppose, peace of mind. And my wife is saying, oh, well, just grab some barbecues. But then, of course, what's everybody going to do when this kind of thing happens? They're going to do exactly the same thing. And we bothered to make this thing. And, of course, we brought that attitude to 3D printing, because before we got these, Luke and I had done no 3D printing, no CAD design at all, and yet, have no fear. Try it. Don't be afraid to fail. Give it a go. It's amazing what you can do. Once you open one door, all kinds of doors open to you, and that's the thing that I think the channel is most strongly about being prepared to try. about being open-minded in what it is that you do, and mostly about giving it a go. What we'll do is we'll get a rapid turn of this and a 12-speed reduction here on the drive plate, and the best way to see that is to watch one of those holes. So the golf ball improvement allows me to move that while these are rotating so that we can get a constant variation in the speed of the input and the output by the movement of the golf ball. One of the things that's been pointed out to me over the years is that sometimes it looks as if people have taken some of the projects and put them together to make their own business or their own product.
That is it all put together. You see what I mean about it looking like a flower, looking like a rose? Isn't it awesome? Anyway, let's get that on its stand and see what it does in the wind. Okay, let's see. 0.8 meters a second. That on the Beaufort scale counts as what was it?
That is the only source of heating I've got in my lab, and it's a bit cold in here, but I plan actually on heating the entire lab with that radiator. Personally, I think that's awesome, and if it's true, kind of nice to know. So the world truly is a beautiful, fascinating, interesting place to explore, and here on the channel we've tried to do a little bit of that. Hopefully, over the coming years we can continue that exploration together. So I hope you've enjoyed the channel. I'm certainly grateful for all of the support that everybody's given, for all of the ideas that you've shared with everybody, and for the community that we've actually built. Thank you very much, everybody. And hope those people who've just watched this like and subscribe.